Hello, my dear students of class 12. We are back again with the discussion of political science. We shall be discussing about India's external relations. It is chapter 13 as we continue from part A. Otherwise, you can call it chapter 4 from part B of political science. So, as you can see the title of the chapter, that is India's external relations. Actually, basically we want to mean here the foreign policy, India's foreign policy. Now see, let us take one example. You make friendship with various persons in the days of social media and normally in our life also, isn't it? Now, in certain cases, the friendship lasts longer. Sometimes the friendship creates problem. There is wrong interpretation, difference in opinion, and due to that, what happens? The friendship, there is split in the friendship. Okay, but as I said, sometimes the friendship continues for a longer period of time, isn't it? Now, what is the matter that makes the friendship stronger? I think all of you know. That is, believe in each other, isn't it? So accordingly, the friendly relationship for each and every country with the other nations is very important at this present world. So no country can deny the foreign policy at this time, at this present moment. Okay? So foreign policy gets the most importance, okay, in this present world. So what is foreign policy? How will you define? Say I have written one question. What is foreign policy? The first thing first. Foreign policy we can define as a course of activities which is basically based on that confirming the national interest. I think the term you got in class 11, national interest. So until and unless the national interest is secured, the foreign policy cannot be continued in smooth manner. Okay? So, what are the reasons behind to maintain a steady foreign policy for any country? The reason is to make it more stable, to make it a developed one. Isn't it? Because no country can run singly at this present world. Now we are going back the formation of foreign policy of our country, our mother nation India. The basic concept I have written here, you see, NAM. This is not a new term for you. Non-alignment movement. Okay? So non-alignment was the core concept of India's foreign policy. Now what is this non-alignment movement? জোট নিরপেক্ষ আন্দোলন বাংলায় যাকে বলে, ইন্ডিয়া কখন কেন এই পলিসিটা অ্যাডাপ্ট করলো? উই হ্যাভ টু গো ব্যাক টু আওয়ার pre-independence situation. You see the turmoil situation around the world. The two world wars has faced by the people of the world as well as we the Indians. So accordingly, the nation builders, the leaders of the nation decided we have to follow a policy which will help the newly born country to develop in a proper manner. Actually, there were two ideologies around the world. I am talking about the policy of capitalism and the policy of socialism. These two ideologies were followed by two superpowers. As you have studied earlier, that the world was divided into two power blocks. One is the capitalist bloc headed by USA and its allied countries, and the other one is socialist bloc. The leader was USSR. The former USSR. Former I am telling because USSR was collapsed in 1990, from which around 15 countries, Commonwealth of Independent States were formed. Okay, so in this situation, okay, two diverged ways, two different ideologies, that is socialism and capitalism. In between, how it was possible for a newly independent country to fix its foreign policy? The then Prime Minister, first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, along with the other leaders of Ghana, Egypt, like such countries, some countries who were in favor of this non-alignment policy, they thought that we must follow this policy because this is the best one for us. It is quite simple, very easy to understand, you see. If India would have joined the socialist group, that is USSR, then of course it would be on the opposite side of the capitalist bloc, that is USA. তাহলে ইউএস এর বিরুদ্ধে এটা একটা প্রতিক্রিয়া হয়ে যেত। অথবা যদি ইন্ডিয়া ক্যাপিটালিস্ট ব্লকে জয়েন করত, সেক্ষেত্রে সোশ্যালিস্ট ব্লক, দ্যাট ইজ ইউএসএসআর এর বিরাগ ভাজন হতে হতো। এজন্যই along with Egypt, Ghana and some other newly independent countries, our first Prime Minister decided to maintain the policy of NAM. Okay? No, it's a movement. Okay? It's a movement. It's not just a planning to remain non-aligned. Okay? Not to join in any of the power blocks. But we must remember, NAM never means neutrality. There is much difference between neutrality and non-alignment. Because when you see, suppose there are some two opinions coming to you regarding any matter and you are remaining silent. So when you are silent, what does it mean? You do not support anyone, you are not showing any kind of reaction. But that may not help you always. Remaining silent may not help you in certain situations. So neutrality and non-alignment is never the same thing. So the newly independent countries were never neutral. They were always in favor of world peace and disarmament, and basically they supported the policy of UN. They were always in support of UN, that is the peacekeeping policy of the world. Okay, so now we shall progress with the discussion that Article 51, children, you must remember these two important matters here. That is, Article 51 of the Chapter 4 from the Indian Constitution has given the basic concept, the core concept of foreign policy. Okay, what are the basic matters to be kept in mind while framing the foreign policy of our country? So, this article number, Article 51 of Chapter 4 from the Indian Constitution is very important for this chapter, this chapter. Okay, there are some basic concepts given here. That what are the matters to be kept in mind while framing the foreign policy? বিদেশ নীতি, ভারতবর্ষের বিদেশ নীতি নির্ধারণ করতে গেলে কোন বিষয়গুলিকে গুরুত্ব দিতে হবে তা আমাদের এই আর্টিকেল 51 কনস্টিটিউশনের চ্যাপ্টার 4 এর আর্টিকেল 51 এর মধ্যে বর্ণনা করা আছে। ওকে, এটা আমাদের একটু জানতে হবে বিষয়টা, যে কি কি বিষয়ের উপর সেটা মেনটেন করতে হবে। লেট মি টেল ইউ ওয়ান থিং, যেটা বলছিলাম যে হাউ এ friendship runs steadily. Another important matter comes here with the belief, faith. Another important matter, respect. When you get respect, you see, you just think, when you get respect from your friends, that friendship is more preferable. Where your self dignity is in stake, okay, where there is no self dignity, you do not prefer to continue the friendship over there. Just ask yourself, you'll get the answer, isn't it, my dear students? So that is the thing. The same thing happens for a nation also. So maintaining self dignity and the sovereignty of a nation is very important. Okay, while framing the foreign policy, these two matters, maintaining the sovereignty and the self respect, is very important. So if any country is facing trouble while framing the foreign policy regarding its sovereignty and self-respect, do you think that the country will continue the same policy with that concerned nation? Of course not. It is not possible. That's why in this chapter 4, Article 51 has explained the basic concepts. Now, what are the certain matters I have written here to promote international peace and security? Let me cite one example here. তুমি যখন পড়তে বসছো ঘরে, হয়তো পাশের ঘরে খুব জোরে টিভি চলছে, বা রাস্তায় কোথাও গন্ডগোল হচ্ছে, বা কোথাও খুব জোরে মাইক বাজছে, তো এসব পরিস্থিতিতে তুমি কি কনসেন্ট্রেট করতে পারবে পড়াতে? ইজ ইট পসিবল? এটা কখনোই সম্ভব হয় না, নাকি? তো এক্স্যাক্টলি সেম, when there is turmoil situation, when there is intense situation around the world, how come a nation will develop? একটা দেশ কখনোই উন্নত হতে পারে না যদি তার নিজের দেশের মধ্যে অথবা বাইরে কোথাও গন্ডগোল চলছে। সো ফার্স্ট অ্যান্ড ফরমোস্ট থিং, টু প্রমোট ইন্টারন্যাশনাল পিস অ্যান্ড সিকিউরিটি, আমি আমার মতো করে নিজেকে ডেভেলপ করতে থাকবো, আর অন্যদিকে কি হচ্ছে আমি কোনো লক্ষ্য রাখবো না, এটা হয় না, এটা চলে না, এটা হয় না। ইট ক্যানট বি কন্টিনিউড। সো দ্য ইন্ডিয়ান ফরেন পলিসি বেসিক্যালি has given importance to international peace and security. Whenever, whichever country has given importance to these matters, India has supported those policies, maintaining international peace and security, importantly. Because peace and development, they go hand in hand. Okay? যেখানে শান্তি নেই, সেখানে উন্নতি নেই। তো এজন্যই শান্তি প্রয়োজন। কেন? ডেভেলপমেন্টের জন্য, উন্নতির জন্য। Then comes to establish just and respectable relations. I told you earlier, what type of relationship India wants to maintain with the other countries, it quite a bit depends on our own country as well as on the other country also. Because when there is no just and respectable situation from the other side, the relation cannot go smoothly. So, it is important to establish just and respectable relationship with the other country while framing the foreign policy. Respect to international law. You know that after the Second World War, United Nations was formed. What was the intention behind? রাষ্ট্রসংঘের প্রতিষ্ঠা হয়েছিল দ্বিতীয় বিশ্বযুদ্ধের পরে। কি উদ্দেশ্য নিয়ে? কেন এই রাষ্ট্রসংঘ প্রতিষ্ঠা করা হলো? উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, so that the world can be saved from further war. কারণ দুটো বিশ্বযুদ্ধ পৃথিবী দেখেছে তার ধ্বংসলীলা। তো কিভাবে এটা চলতে পারে? এজন্যই রাষ্ট্রসংঘ প্রতিষ্ঠা করা হয়েছিল, যাতে নাকি আর পৃথিবীবাসীকে যুদ্ধের সম্মুখীন হতে না হয়। তো this United Nations has set certain aims and objectives, and one was to maintain world peace and security. That's why, while framing the Indian foreign policy, certain matters were given much importance. One is to show due respect to the international laws. আন্তর্জাতিক আইন সমূহের প্রতি যথেষ্ট শ্রদ্ধা প্রদর্শন করা। যখনই কোনো দেশ আন্তর্জাতিক আইনের বিরুদ্ধাচরণ করেছে, ইন্ডিয়া তার বিরোধিতা করেছে। India has always against the policies, means whenever any country has showed any negligence to the international laws, India denied, India objected in those situations. Okay? Another important matter have to keep in mind while framing the Indian foreign policy, that is the settlement of disputes peacefully. হ্যাঁ বন্ধুরা, তোমাদের মধ্যে সমস্যা থাকতে পারে, দুজন বন্ধুর মধ্যে অনেক সময় মতবিরোধ হতে পারে, কিন্তু সেই মতবিরোধ যেন এমন পর্যায়ে না যায় যে বন্ধুত্বই নষ্ট হয়ে গেল, কেউ কারো আর মুখ দেখতেই চাইল না, তো এর মানে কোনো থাকলো না। তাহলে ফ্রেন্ডশিপেও যদি যখন এই সমস্যাটা দেখা দেয়, তখন আমরা কি করতে পারি? উই ক্যান কাম টু মিউচুয়াল ডিসকাশন। দেখি তো আরেকজনের সঙ্গে মতের কি অমিল হচ্ছে, কি আমার ভুল আছে নাকি কোথায় গন্ডগোল হচ্ছে। সো উই ক্যান কাম ইন consultation, we can solve the problem. Exactly similar way, there may be difference in opinion between the nations. So what they can do? They can come in consultation. They can sit together. The representatives can sit together to solve the matter, to solve the disputes. So that is dispute resolution in a peaceful manner. কিভাবে অস্ত্রের সাহায্য না নিয়ে দুটো দেশ তাদের মধ্যে যে ডিসপিউট রয়েছে তাকে সমাধান করতে পারে, সেই চেষ্টাটাই থাকবে প্রথম। The preference should be given to that situation, that how two nations can come together, sit and discuss to settle the problem arose between them, isn't it? So these were the certain policies discussed in our Article 51 of Chapter 4 of the Indian Constitution. Okay? Now, another core concept of the Indian foreign policy is Panchashil. I hope you heard the term. Panchashil. From name, the basic concept of name is actually lying here in Panchashil. What is this Panchashil? Pancha means five, Shil means policies. What are these five principles, which is the core concept of non-alignment movement? It was initiated by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India. So he is rightly called the chief architect of the Indian foreign policy. Okay, so what are these five policies? We shall see. To respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity, to respect the sovereignty and integrity, non-aggression, the third one is non-interference in internal matters, peaceful settlement of disputes, and the last one, to promote world peace. Okay, my dear students, Panchashil is the core concept of Indian foreign policy. That is the non-alignment. So what are these five policies I have written here? Let us see one by one. To respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity. As we have discussed earlier, that friendship cannot go steady, smoothly, without the due self-respect. When the self-respect is not shown properly, from the other hand, from the other side, the friendship cannot continue smoothly. Exactly same for the nation. So, whenever the foreign policy is set, the country must remember that my sovereignty must get the top priority. সার্বভৌমিকতা, কোন দেশের সার্বভৌমিকতাকে বিপন্ন করে তার বৈদেশিক নীতি নির্ধারণ করা যায় না। প্রত্যেকটা দেশই একটা জিনিস চিন্তা করবে যে আমার সার্বভৌমিকতাই প্রথম, মাই সভরেনিটি কামস ফার্স্ট, মাই টেরিটোরিয়াল ইন্টিগ্রিটি। আই হোপ দ্য টার্ম ইউ ক্যান আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড। টেরিটোরিয়াল ইন্টিগ্রিটি মানে নিজস্ব কোনো জায়গা অন্য দেশের হাতে অর্পণ করে দিয়ে ফরেন পলিসি সেট করার তো কোনো মানেই হয় না। যদি আমার দেশের কোনো অংশ যদি অন্য দেশ নিয়ে নিতে চায়, বা যুদ্ধে জয় করতে চায়, তখন সেই দেশের সঙ্গে কিরকম ফরেন পলিসি মেনটেন করতে হবে, আশা করি তোমরা এতটুকু বুঝতে পারো। So the first and foremost thing in Panchashil is to give due respect to the sovereignty, not only mine, to the other countries also. Okay, when India is setting the foreign policies, it has to maintain its sovereignty as well as to show due respect to the sovereignty of other countries. This is very important. Without showing due respect to the sovereignty of other countries, okay, and trying to maintain the territorial integrity of that nation, it cannot be continued properly. Second comes here the non-aggression, মানে কোনো ধরনের আগ্রাসী নীতিকে অ্যাভয়েড করা, মানে কোনো দেশের সঙ্গে যুদ্ধে প্রবৃত্ত না হওয়া, not to attack any country. I told you earlier that there may be differences in opinion. Okay, then what is done? As two friends settle their disputes by discussing. Same way, two nations, the leaders, the representative of the nations can sit together and solve their problem instead of following any aggressive policies, extreme policies. Okay, because extremism brings the destruction, spoils the peace of the country, peace of the world, isn't it? So it is most important to follow the second policy, that is non-aggression, not to be aggressive, okay, not to attack any country. Then the third one, non-interference in the internal matters. This is also very important. And of course, again I am taking the example of two friends. Two friends share their views in many matters, but sometimes there may be some very personal matters which you do not want to share with others. Okay, so accordingly, two countries, when they are in relationship, they do not want to interfere in their internal administrative matters. এখন যদি কোনো দেশ অন্য দেশের সঙ্গে সম্পর্ক স্থাপন করতে গিয়ে তার ইন্টারনাল অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেটিভ বিষয়ে হস্তক্ষেপ করতে চায়, তখন সেটা কোনোভাবেই ভালোভাবে নেওয়া হয়, ইট ইজ নট অ্যাকসেপ্টেবল। ওকে, নো কান্ট্রি অ্যাকসেপ্টস এনি interference in the internal matters of the country. Okay, foreign policy, yes, good relationship, friendship can continue, but without interfering the internal matters. No country has the right to interfere in the internal matters of the other country. Then comes peaceful settlement of the disputes. I told you earlier that peaceful settlement without following any aggressive policies. It is very important to settle the disputes in a peaceful manner. To promote world peace. So when all the upper ones are maintained, when these four policies are maintained, then naturally the world peace will be maintained, isn't it? Maintaining world peace depends on the previous four policies, isn't it? Without following the aggressive method, when the disputes are settled through discussions, then naturally world peace will be maintained. Okay, so we can see these are the basic concepts of Panchashil, which is the core concept of Indian foreign policy. Now we shall see here what are the other objectives, other subject matter in this chapter, that is the Indo-China relationship. Other subject matter, other topic here in this chapter, that is India China border issue. This is another topic in our this chapter, that is India's external relations. Okay, India-China issue, Indo-China relationship. Actually, in the earlier time, okay, in the ancient time, there was good relationship between these two countries, India and China. You heard about Fa Hian, Yuan Zheng. Okay, they came over here They have studied the Indian culture, heritage, okay, literature, and so many things. They stayed for a long period of time over here. So there was healthy relationship, good relationship between these two countries, India and China. Okay, because the exchange of culture, education policies, okay, then other matters also, it continued. But in 1962, on 2nd October, okay, first we should write that under this topic, that is that healthy relationship continued. Healthy relationship was there earlier in ancient time. Okay, in ancient period there was healthy relationship between these two countries, but on 20th October 1962, China attacked India. Okay, and thousands of miles within our territory was captured by the country, and naturally there was ill feeling. Okay, and unilaterally they have introduced the ceasefire. Okay, accordingly there was some unhealthy situation between these two countries. Okay, there was unilateral ceasefire. Unilateral ceasefire. Okay, means there was no proper discussion. Okay, and singly they have settled the matter without a proper initiative of our country. So accordingly there was some unhealthy situation between these two countries. Okay, and still thousands of miles were under the accession of China. Okay, then the other issue comes here in this chapter, that is the matter of Bangladesh war, consequences of Bangladesh war. In 1971, there was war between India and Bangladesh on the issue of Bangladesh. As you know, the country was divided on the basis of religion, that is India and Pakistan. But due to the different concentration of Muslim community in the western part and the eastern part, okay, the Pakistan was in two parts, that is West Pakistan and East Pakistan. Presently, East Pakistan is called Bangladesh. So on this issue, on the issue of Bangladesh, there was war between India and Pakistan. There are other wars also fought between these two countries. Okay, situation was never normal between these two countries. But this Bangladesh issue, 1971, actually Bangladesh never wanted to remain with Pakistan because there are some irrelevant policies of Pakistan. That is, Urdu should be the language, that official language of Bangladesh. Is it possible? People who are speaking their main language is Bengali, then how come of a country's language will be Urdu when the maximum people speaking in Bengali? That's why they never wanted to be with Pakistan. They wanted an independent Bangladesh. So accordingly, they got help from our country. Okay, they got help from our country. So here the positive attitude of India and winning of the war has heightened the position of India. Okay, India's position was heightened by this winning of the war, and accordingly the position of Pakistan had gone down. So there was thousands of soldiers surrendered. Okay, and General Naiyaji signed this agreement. Okay, surrender agreement was signed by the general himself. So accordingly, the situation was a tensed one, during the independence war of Bangladesh. So ultimately, the new country was born, and we can say that there is quite healthy relationship between Bangladesh and India is still going on. Okay, with this we should wind up this chapter. Here some important questions we will get here, that what are the basic concepts of name, then Panchashil, write a short note on Panchashil, like that questions are asked. Okay, the core concept, the basic features of Indian foreign policy. So these certain questions are asked in this chapter. It is a very important one. As soon as you get the books, if you go through, then of course more detail you will come to know. With that, we should wind up. Thank you all.